We're social beings. We gotta belong somewhere.
Al-Qaeda.
Yeah, Al-Qaeda, sexual predators, gangs of all sorts. Al-Qaeda is simply a Middle Eastern version of, Detroit gangs. Okay. Communication is both the means and measure of inclusion. That's how we get in. And there are two primary ways by which we communicate for that purpose. We communicate through our achievement, through our results. Remember, action speaks louder than words. It's an aphorism. Whoever produces the needed result is given a place in the group, no matter what you look like, no matter what your gender is. And I go, they'll make a place for you if you're the one who's providing what's needed. And the second means by which we achieve inclusion is through dialogue. And the lower you go down the education and social skills, the lower the level of communication skills. And the more people resort to violence and force to get things done. My little asterisk is about, there's another way that you get included, and that is through entitlements. If you're born to privilege, you get in through no quality of your own, and that is injurious to the individual because your mind gets screwed around with, I know I don't deserve this, why me? And then you have to, I shouldn't say you have to, one often spends much of their lives camouflaging their insecurity about their lack of qualifications for being in the position they are. Achievement and dialogue then are what I call the foundation skills, the prerequisite foundation skills to heal the education gap that's suffered by kids who grew up in uneducated households. If you're lucky enough to grow up around educated people, you pick up some of those skills serendipitously, even without, and I have specifically sought to talk to educated people to see if they could articulate what it is they're, and it's, no, they pick them up serendipitously too, they don't know. And that also explains why in the same household, you get different results. One kid gets it and another kid doesn't. It's like, well, we taught them the same way. Well, we have different antenna. And what I find is, and this is part of how Caldwell got to be successful in this regard, is once you identify what the issue is, you can teach the skill and everybody gets it. Real simple. Now, even when you get it, and even when you're in, because of the nature of the universe, things are constantly changing. Nothing is permanent. You can be in today and out tomorrow. One of the major problems in our culture is people fear getting to the age that I am. Because all the metrics by which they have been validated, they're now having to retire, and I'm going to lose them, then what's going to happen to me? Nobody will care, I'm not important, et cetera, et cetera. So a third skill is necessary to maintain inclusion through change. And I call that change a transition management skill. Recognizing that change is inevitable. It's going to happen. That's the nature of the universe. Everything is always changing. And change always reveals new opportunities. And so if we adopt the attitude of, okay, I'm going through some changes, what is this telling me I need to do as my next step? Because that's what it makes sense, and you can find it in that way. And when I talked earlier about going to that psychological case conference and running into Hugh Foley, who's a principal at Muni High, I had on my agenda a long time, since I was a junior at UCLA. My kids are going to grow up in Westwood. And I met a school district that said, you have to work in a junior high school in a black community. And on my agenda was, how do I get to where I want to go? I had somewhere I wanted to go. And so when the opportunity, it only became an opportunity because I had somewhere I wanted to go. Okay. There's a shift in mindset that happens when you no longer feel that change is happening to you, that you can take responsibility for it and make it happen for yourself. You shift then from being a victim, which is helpless and somebody is doing it to you. And we live in a culture where that's encouraged among major parts of the population. And then the major parts of the population who are taught to feel victimized are then blamed for their condition. One corporate executive said to me one day, "Do you realize you're teaching some subversive stuff there?" And I said, "Yeah." But then, you can put that in a context too. One of our founding fathers made the point that it might be good to have a revolution every 20 years or so, because we are flawed humans, all of us, and we are subject to greed and avarice, all of us. Given the right condition, we'll screw it up. And one step before we get to question Samantha here, we get major part of each former student's life is spent desperately pursuing inclusion, avoiding exclusion. All punishment is based upon exclusion. All punishment. All the way from go sit in the corner, go to your room, to go to prison. Now, what I would like to pursue with Samantha, and I'd like each of you to, in your own mind, play along with us as though I'm asking the same question of you, and you answer for yourself the same questions that Samantha will instructively answer for us all, so that we all learn together. what I'm pursuing, Samantha, is the question of finding out who you are. For me, when I first noticed, when I was first aware, I was already here. Is that how it was for you as well?
What do you mean?
Think of one of your earliest memories. And you don't have to tell me what that is, but okay, you got one? You were already here. You were already alive, right?
Yeah.
And so there was nothing you are aware that you had to do in order to be, in order to exist. That's a given. Life is a given. And it looks to me like that's how it is for everybody. And that just by being alive, there's some other things that are given that we didn't have to do anything to get. Every human has a father and a mother. Whether they're alive or not, but you can't get born without having a father and a mother. The mother had an egg, they call it, and the father had the sperm that. And even if you make up a myth about immaculate conception, okay, you got to do some real gymnastics to get around that basic fact. And kids will tell you, if they're not afraid of getting hit over the head, that's bullshit. Immaculate conception. It didn't happen. Okay. Okay.